Like the call this meeting to order for February 17th, 6:30, 2026. We have the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you haven't already, please silence your phone. And we have roll call for one time. Here.
Councilman Hudson.
Here.
Councilman Webb.
Here.
Councilman Mikey.
Here.
Councilman Bullen.
Here.
Councilman Green.
Here.
Councilman Howe.
Here.
You have a floor.
Gee,
Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me? Next thing on the agenda is council meeting minutes. Have you looked it over? Do you have any questions? Other than Alderman Bull, what was it, Wolverine? Are you French tonight? Or?
I'm not sure. On the bottom of page 1 of the minutes, you'll find that it says designated Councilman Randall Boland as the mayor's alternate. They spelled my first name wrong, they spelled my last name wrong. So I don't know who's going to fill in for you.
But it's spelled right in the ordinance amendment. Okay. Any questions on the city council members, other than? Next thing, have you guys got any questions on the treasurer's report? If you haven't noticed, the solid waste funds are down by $12,606 for the month of January, and that's due to the fact that we paid December's and January's in January. So there was 2 payments. That's why it's down. Now we just had a budget meeting to go over our shortfalls, I guess we call them. We are making adjustments. Matt, do you have anything on that?
We found some issues in the budget for 2025 that we're asking to take a look at, or a closer look at. Some figures we were pretty much right on. Some figures we were off by thousands of dollars. Now, the good point is that those thousands of dollars was on our income section and not on our expenses. So we're looking pretty good. We do have some things where you have to question. One area was because we changed how we funded our courts. We had to change up the way that it was done, and in that process, we're going to have to audit those figures for 2025. They're off by thousands of dollars. So we got to figure out what happened to that. We've also got some other issues where the state was not quite too forthcoming with information whether this was a state turnback or a county turnback or a city turnback, and whether it was for sewer and water or whether it was for city. So we need to do some information, get some information on that. Other than that, most of the questions, Paul and I were working on it before this meeting, and we already got a lot of the answers done. And we're not going to be making any changes yet. We want to give another quarter. Every 3 months, we're going to have the budget committee meeting here to look at the budget to see how we're doing and tracking for 26. Any issues will be addressed there, and then if necessary, resolutions will be written. Because we want to keep this system as transparent and as open to the public as possible. No questions, no hidden stuff, just the facts. And that's what we're working towards. So thank you very much for your support.
Also, I want to add that our next budget committee meeting will be, what, May 19th?
May 19th at 2 o'clock.
Any other questions on treasurer's report? Have you had a chance to look at the police, fire, public works, which includes water, sewer, and streets? Any questions on those?
I just want to congratulate Officer Heron on completing your rental application for Bull Shoals. So, good on her for that. Also, coffee with a cop this last month was, I don't know how many people were there, Chief?
It was full.
Yeah, it was packed at Blackbird, so I would encourage all of you to come out to that if you haven't already done so. It's a good way to get your questions answered directly by the officers themselves, so that's been great to see. And just overall, I just want to thank everybody on the police force. Everybody's just really killing themselves to really make this a nice place to live. And I had one question about Officer Castagna. He's in his 5th week at the academy. How many more weeks does he have to go?
He's actually started in 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
7 weeks left.
7 weeks left. Okay, great. Okay, that's all I had, but thank you guys very much for all the extra effort you're putting out.
And one thing I want to add to the police is I had the law enforcement committee meet, and there are recommendations I'm still waiting on, and we'll have those ready for you at the next council meeting. Anything on parks? Mike, I know you got a full load.
We had a big meeting last week for parks. We're trying to raise some money for the archery range to get some things fixed up. We have a couple different avenues that we're looking at, both grant and private, but we know how long grants can take. So we're working on that. I also pulled up the numbers that other festivals do for their vendors so we can compare them and kind of make a decision on what we would like to charge for vendor spaces for Dam Jam this year. So that should be up any second. And we'll put that up. Alright, I'll just start reading them to you in case this ever works. So Connor Trout Fest for a non-profit charges $30 a vendor. For a regular vendor, it's $40, and for a food truck with no electric, it's $80. For a turkey trot, I don't have a number for non-profits. For a regular vendor at turkey trot, it's $85. Kind of steep, I think, for our festival in particular, and then for a food truck, $225. Which is a lot of money, but we know how busy turkey trot is. If this would ever pull up, you would see that I put up a proposal that this year again for nonprofits we do free. And then for the regular vendor, follow with Cobbler Trout Fest and do 40. And then for food trucks do 80. Seems like fair numbers going off of basically what Trout Fest says. Sorry, this isn't 20 minutes, but yeah, and then along with that, we use, since we're charging this year, we use the vendor agreement forms, the same ones that Cotter uses as form fitted to the city of Bull Shoals. And I'm sure I'm missing something, and it'll come to me in a cold sweat, but we did have a cleanup. Oh yes, March 15th. We are doing a dam site park cleanup we'll have a sign up and sign in sheet. Oh, it's 2 days, sorry, it's the 14th and the 15th. And we'll get a mock-up put out for that so we can put it up on the city site and all that.
Volunteers.
Yeah, we need volunteer hours for a couple of the grants we're going after this year too.
Bring the rake, a shovel,
Bring your tools.
and a saw.
And it's on again, wait.
Where's that again?
It is March 14th and 15th. And the site.
Yeah.
We're gonna clean up the
I want to make sure we've got the right location.
And that's all we got in March.
I'd like to hit on,
There you go. Now it comes up.
there.
Alright, so now you can see what I'm talking about. If anyone has any thoughts on that, or if everyone's good with it, how we're looking at it.
labor. Yeah, but there's
Then it's a little mock-up of that, where
the nonprofits are free.
that's what I'm proposing, you know, this is still a community event, and people putting out positive messages in the community, you know, that's what I think, nickel and dime people that are
There's
wrong.
also the 501(c)(3).
Yeah.
Do you have the date? Do you have the date?
Yeah, September 26th. I have a question, Mike. And the funds for this will go where specifically? I mean, money, like,
Well, it's also something we have to decide on if it goes to support parks or everything.
Kind of logical stuff for it.
That would be my take on it. Unless anyone thinks it to go to it, so. That's not a terrible idea.
Speaking of sewer, thanks for the transition there. The city has purchased their own smoke machine, and we have started doing. Of course, we did call and advise our county sheriff's department that we were going to do smoke testing, but apparently they didn't read that memo, because some people called in saying there was smoke coming out of their house. Obviously, they have a problem. It was coming out of their toilet. So there's something definitely wrong with their plumbing. Normally, you'll see smoke coming out of the stack, out of the roof. That's common, okay? So, we're going to try to make a better effort to inform the people what locations we're going to do. We put it on our website, we put it on our Facebook, but we still have call-ins. But we are trying to find our problems. And we did find that, actually, we found a buried manhole with the smoke testing up on Falcon Point. And it was 1 foot below the ground, where someone had taken a dozer and wiped out our sewer line going back in 2008 or 9, when they had a dozer up there, demolished one of our manholes, but apparently they did extra damage too, and that we never found. Well, they buried one of our manholes, so we did find it with that smoke testing. So it is a positive thing. We are finding our problem areas. As soon as we find those areas, we're also going to camera them with some, our primitive camera, which you have to push into the sewer system. But we will find and correct our problems as we go along. But I just want to let you know that we will be doing smoke testing, and hopefully we can find and fix our problems that we do have. You guys got any questions on planning and zoning? There are code changes. It's basically, you got a rundown of what codes they wanted to change last month. That's what I sent to Will King, our city attorney. He looked them over and he didn't see any problem with them. He sent them back to us. Planning and zoning met. They have already recommended them to go along with those changes. So if you haven't got that copy in your files, let us know. I'll get you the what they're wanting to amend in the 2007 ordinance.
I've got something to add to that. Real briefly, at the last planning and zoning meeting, a gentleman brought forward a concern about noise ordinance, and so there was some question about whether or not we had a noise ordinance. And we did a little bit of research today, Susan did, and Chief did, and we came up with the actual noise ordinance that governs us, and it's actually a state ordinance. It's not a local ordinance. Apparently the state trumps us on this one. And I have a copy of it. Sorry, I'll just talk loud. I have a copy of it. If anybody wants to know what the number is, if they want to look it up, it's 5-71-207, and it's actually an ordinance about disorderly conduct. Apparently noise was covered under disorderly conduct. And after talking with the chief and after talking with the mayor this morning, we do need to tighten this up just a little bit because there aren't actual times of days included in this. They have what they call the reasonable person standard, or it's a reasonable person standard, which apparently according to the state means you can't make inordinate noise from 8 in the morning, or before 8 in the morning, or after 10 in the evening. And we have to, if we want to change that, we have to actually have something in writing that actually changes that. It doesn't need to be an ordinance, but we have to change it ourselves. So we can talk about that, but he did bring that forward, and since he made the effort to come to the meeting, I wanted to follow through, so we do have that. There is actually an ordinance that covers noise.
My question to you guys would be, do you want to make it a resolution, or do you want to make an ordinance where we have some teeth to it? If you got a construction outfit that wants to start at 5 o'clock in the morning, are we just going to tell them, going to have to stop, and, you can't start work until 7? One of our biggest things is when those guys trying to beat the heat in the summertime doing a roof job. Okay? So kind of keep that in mind. Do we want to find these people, or do we just want to give them a warning?
Well, I think
we're going to have a time limit.
I think there's teeth in the state ordinance. There's actually fines and stuff in the state ordinance. So I think all we really need to do is have a resolution that just defines what times we want. If we want to stick with 10 o'clock at night until 8 in the morning, then we can just stick with that. But if we want to change it or fine tune it, we would have to do that. But as far as, putting teeth in it, there's teeth in this. It's up to a 30-day in jail or $500 fine. I would say that's teeth. So.
Jim, the only thing I would say is, I know Mountain Home, they got 7 o'clock in the morning. You can't start work until after 7. That was their compromise. Other cities have done the same thing. So. If you guys can let me know what you prefer, I'll have a resolution ready for you at that next meeting. Again, all right, hold on. We have come up with Erica has worked hard on this. You had any kind with discussion on, City of Bull Shoals welcome pack. So, when we have someone come into the area, it's got most everything that you would possibly need to know. We have City of Bull Shoals, numbers, extensions, police department, fire department, utilities in the area, county, Marion County's assessor clerk, all that, Clifton Public Schools, Bull Shoals churches, useful information that you can have, 3 cats, 3 dogs, Bull Shoals Water and Sewer Department, how to pay, if you want to pay online, you want to set up an account and draft, gives you all, trash service that we have, just everything that, you can have any kind of questions on, general rules, on the water and sewer department, obtaining water service, customer billing payments, deferred time payment plans, on hardships, reconnection fees, meters, main extension services, and application for excessive needs, pretty much covers everything, help anybody that's coming to the area, or even if you still live here and you want to know about the City of Bull Shoals. I want to thank Erica for her hard work on this. Thank you.
Have you made any changes, Erica, since this version that we got?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I know there's gonna have to be something because the craft service might be changing.
Yeah, we still haven't heard anything from them. I got,
There will be a date, just not right now.
Next thing on, is the Marion County tax increase issue on the ballot is March 3rd. Apparently we've already started early voting. Okay. I just want to make it clear that there's 2 things on the ballot. One is for a 1/4 sales tax increase, and that will be used for maintaining the community center that's going to be built in Yellowville. The 50-cent, sorry about that, the 50-cent sales tax increase is for the building of the community center. And I just find it kind of ironic that when they built the jailhouse, that 50 cent was going to disappear when that was paid off. I believe it gets paid off in July. March, okay. But now they want to keep it, that extra 50 cents. The problem that people have to look at here is the 1/4 cent, the 50 cent doesn't pass, and the 1/4 cent does pass. The 1/4 cent sales tax can be used anywhere in the county for any department. Okay, that's the way they would it. They gave 3 options. Okay, the 3rd option is to be used anywhere in the county. So if the road department needs that 1/4 cent, they'll use it there. If the sheriff's department needs that 1/4 cent, they can use it there. The thing is, if it's passed, if they both pass, okay, the building of the community center and the 1/4 cent sales tax to maintain it, doesn't guarantee they're going to be able to use that 1/4 cent to maintain it. Because it has a stipulation that the county can use that 1/4 cent sales tax anywhere. Is that correct? Okay. So be diligent on the way you're going to vote. Know the facts.
Is that really vote only held at the fairgrounds right now? Or is it
Right now it is.
Mondays?
It'll be interesting Thursday. They got to be out by 6:30. So it's going to be a tight swap. Any other questions on the tax issue? Councilman comments?
We had the grant committee meeting this week with Tina Cole from the NWA, one of those letters. It went really well. We actually found some things that we're able to look into for the water plant. With our issue with the infrastructure down there, since there's a lot of stakeholders that put up a lot of money for the treatment plant. So we have some new avenues to look at through there. As a group, we kind of decided that one of the main things we need to be focusing on is our infrastructure grants, and Tina Cole's going to be helping us along with that. And I believe that's all I have right now.
To go along with that, we just received a thing for workshop on March 11th, 2026 in Harrison for Parks grants. And I'm hoping that some of you guys will go. I believe Deb Nelson is going, you're going, you guys are going. So we'll have plenty of representation there. Bring back some money. Okay. Any other councilman comments? No? Old business, meeting place rental contract. I don't know, got you a copy of what I signed, what I came up with on a lease, sent it off to our city attorney, didn't have any problem with it. I sent that off to Baptist Church. They had a board meeting and their board signed the lease. So we'll bring it up at our council meeting. Do you have any questions on what was put in there? Main thing is we aren't going to charge them anything, okay, for the rental of that building, due to the fact that if you charge them, we have to pay taxes on it.
They're still responsible for
Everything.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. They have to pay all the utilities, okay, propane, electric, water. They're responsible for any repairs that need to be done to it. Any questions on that? Still haven't received anything from Method or MSI, any kind of trash pickup contract. SCADA, the 4 lift stations that doesn't have SCADA for the sewer department, those 4 SCADA systems have been ordered. We're just waiting to receive them. And next thing is ordinance 2026-03 is up for second reading. That's the golf cart. New business. Do you have any questions on amendments to the ordinance 2007-6? That is the planning and zoning codes that they want to define better. Like I said, if you haven't got that copy, I'll make sure you'll get it in your box here, so I'll put them in there tomorrow. Resolution 2026 R01, Board of Zoning Adjustment members. According to our planning and zoning, we are also supposed to have a Board of Zoning Adjustment. And there are 5 individuals that are nominated by the mayor and approved by the council. I have submitted the 5 individuals to you folks. I don't know when I did that. And there's 2 of them that are supposed to be for 1 year, 2 that are for 2 years, and 3 that are 1 that is for 3 years. So I got Scott Shoals and John Stauffer down for a 1-year term, Scott Gallia for for a 2-year term, Merle Fawcett for a 2-year term, and Rick Anderson for a 3-year term. You guys got any questions on that?
I'm not sure how much it matters, but I think Scott told his last name is spelled.
Yeah, it is. I believe you're right. So I'll correct that. I guess I was thinking about both. Yeah, we did it on alternate. And let's see, Resolution 2026 R02, policy on AI. Have you looked over the different possibilities? Have you chose one?
I do have some questions about the required training. Is that mandated by the state that we do the training so employees know what they're allowed to do and not to do? And if so, can we do it on site? Or do we have to send them off?
Susan?
We can do it on site.
I'd like to send them off.
Is there a robot that does that or a human being does that?
Do you have any idea which one you want to choose? Huh? I mean, that's what we're here for.
Are we currently using AI for anything other than transcription? Right, but I mean, are we using it for anything else other than transcribing notes from meetings?
Who knows? A video might be AI?
No. Well, okay.
I don't know, Susan,
What's that again?
do we do anything other than transcribes from AI?
That's pretty much it. I mean, besides, like, using Facebook or, all that stuff, sometimes we use AI. But it's pretty much just so you don't abuse it and use it against people or anything like that. So that's pretty much what it is. Make sure you're using it correctly. And it's, according to AML, we just have to have something on the book stating that we have on how to use AI.
I kind of like the first 1-page one instead of the 3 and 5-page one because we have to read it.
We just have that on policy.
Smaller block?
Yeah, easier to read.
If you look at this stuff, do you have anything that you think we ought to know?
I mean, they're all pretty much explained. I have no preference.
Okay, so that's definitely.
Now, I'm looking at, number 8 on this one, disciplinary action. It's almost verbatim on a single-page one. So, I mean, there's not much difference in it. Do you want to go, Susan, since you're HR, do you want to pick one of these 3 and we'll take your word for it?
Wait, nothing on her.
We just have to have something on the book stating that we use AI. And that's all it is.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal because, like I said, disciplinary action can be including termination. So, it's kind of a big deal.
Do we need some further information on this stuff and how it applies.
No, I mean,
I read this stuff and most of it went over my head being technologically illiterate. I just don't know that we're well enough informed to choose the best option. I don't know that the information we need to know to understand, at least for me, and I'm not going to get off that paper. I'm going to need Susan to take me to school and say, here's how this works, and this is what I think, but she's not volunteering.
you guys want more time to look at this, or? No.
It's not a pressing situation. I mean, you just have to have something eventually on the books for it, so.
Well, the fact that we are using AI now, you know, sooner the better.
You know, I'm sitting here looking at this policy and I don't know. Okay, I'm looking at this policy, and as soon as you start talking termination possibilities with disciplinary action, you're going to need to have this signed by all the people that are playing with AI.
Well, that's why they got.
So they can be held accountable. You know, and in reading the multi-page versus this little one-page acknowledgement statement signed by the employees, they're almost identical, it reads almost verbatim, so. And it's a simple version.
We'll have something by next council. We'll have something by
Next council meeting. Sewer plant, recycle pump has failed. Need replacement, cost around $3,000. This is the best way to describe it, it's kind of the regurging pump. It takes the overflow and pumps it back into the RAS. I know you guys don't understand what the RAS is and all that, but that's where the sewage is treated and stored up. Yeah. So, right now we're just limping along with a sump pump that's not going to last very long.
Spray's coming, we're going to need it.
Yeah.
Spring rains will tend to overwhelm it. We need funds.
Okay. I guess we'll take it out of our sewer depreciation.
Great, now we have a long call.
Citizens' comments. Folks got anything? Okay, nobody wants to be here. Mayor's comments. Okay, one, as we already talked about, we have a smoke machine and we will be using that rather frequently. Along with that, I've been working closely with EPA, ADEQ, and ERG, and another agency, I can't think of the name right now, but we're working on where our problem areas are. They're kind of steering us in that direction. We're also correcting a lot of where our sewer lids should be sealed, and so we'll be buying caulk for those to seal those areas back up so we don't get rain water. If you folks have a sump pump, please do not hook it up to your sewer line, okay? When that sump pump is continually running, it goes into our system and we're treating rainwater or that with Northwest Arkansas Economic Development District, Tina Coles. I received 2 complaint letters on the new owner of the resort at 120 Pinehurst Point. Mostly it's these people have been burning their trash and letting their dogs run and defecate on these 2 people's properties. We sent had the police chief and our fire chief go over and advised all those occupants of the resort they are not to burn, and if they do, they will be cited. And I also contacted the head ranger with the Corps of Engineers and advised them that some of that trash has been blowing on to the Corps property. So if anybody can do anything, the Corps will. Speaking of Corps, I met with the Corps, got permission to clear our sewer easement east of Dan User Park. We have a 10-foot easement going down our sewer line, transmission lines down there. So they gave me permission to go ahead and remove a tree that's right next to the manhole. I met with the tree guy from the Corps, and he is working on getting us a permit for our disc golf holes that are east of Dan User Park in the wooded area. We had Donnie, he turned around and marked them all out. Donnie had a representative that met with myself and the Corps tree guy. So it was all explained to him what we can do and what we can't do, what he would like to see on that permit. So Trevor is bringing that to his boss, Dylan, who will then sit down and decide what size trees we can take down, what size brush we can take down, and how far the borderline we can, do the sawing. The other thing was, we need a resolution. I already got that. We talked about that. I also, working with the departments for employee job descriptions, we'll have a resolution to add them to personnel manual. All our departments, we haven't had actually the official job descriptions, what each employee is responsible for and their duties. So I had all the department heads and supervisors review what we had on the books. They made changes, so those changes have all been turned in. They'll be retyped and brought to you folks at next council meeting so we can put this into our personnel manual. Sadly, I have to say, the Bugle, our newsletter people, headed up by Gary Heimbach, he has put false information in its newsletter. So I just want to say, beware of the untruths. One, an editorial is usually written by an editor of the newspaper. And this one was signed by Leslie Snow. How the police department's revenue summary managed to lose over $21,000 in state aid. This $21,000 was a grant from 2023. So that grant was in the 2023 year. And then saying that someone's got fat fingers, but what was ended up being posted as far as our budget, the correct numbers were on there. That's why we have a budget committee committed. There's 3 aldermen that sit on that budget committee. We have different citizens that sit on that budget committee, along with myself and recorder treasurer. So everything's gone through. Our final draft was approved, and our final passage was approved. So we had good numbers. One thing under city news in the Bugle, it says that the owner of the Village Mart is going forward with another lawsuit against the city. This was not another lawsuit. This was the same lawsuit that he has had. He just added names to it. And Marion County Quorum Court is proposing a 1.25% tax increase. This is not true. What the Marion County Quorum Court proposed was to put 2 things on the ballot. One, a 50-cent sales tax, and a 1/4-cent sales tax. Not a 1.25% tax increase. Big difference, folks. Big difference. So, like I say, make sure you get your facts correct. Now, this kind of hits home because there was a complaint filed by Mr. Dove, a complaint on the fence in my yard. Okay, this was back in October of 2025. And I built this fence back in 2007. And I had fixed both fences, yet 2 citizens filed a complaint on his fence, which was in violation of 3 things back in July of 2025. He refuses to fix his, and his lawyer sent out a cease and desist letter to the city. So apparently, Dust doesn't have to abide by the city's ordinances, but everybody else does. Sorry, folks. The laws that we have passed in our city belong to everybody. And they all have to abide by them. I fixed mine, okay? I don't know why he doesn't fix his. And I told you about the law enforcement committee met. So the result on that, as soon as I get it back from all of the committee members, we'll bring it to your council meeting next month, or at the end of this month. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wanted to bring this up earlier. Governor Conference is this weekend, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in Little Rock, and this year is featured on outdoor recreation. So I'll be there representing Bull Shoals, and it's really exciting. There's going to be a lot of different people from the outdoor recreation community, and I guess it's prior, I can show everybody afterwards. I know everyone wants to get out of here. But I put together a pitch postcard for these companies when I meet them. That's basically just outlines where we are, how we're an outdoor recreation community, that I'll be exchanging with people who kind of like business cards when we're there. But hopefully with some of the situation, I know people are really bummed about the Dollar General thing. And all this means is we really need to start pushing to start enticing more companies to come here. We have a lot of real estate that we need to fill. And I know we got all the scrap cleared out of the ALS building and we make some money on it, which is good. It's time to get that rolling, but we really need to start hyping things up and getting away from things that are like this that don't have truths in them when we're trying to use the positive thing here and start filling buildings with people. Because when I was growing up, people would come, I know, same for Joey too, people would come through here and they would see this place and go, hey, we can make a go of this, and they'd see that empty storefront or that empty restaurant and do something about it. And we have to start doing something in the way of advertisement, which we talk about at parks, and sometimes that means spending money. I know we have a very good preface for this, and that was Dam Jam with that grant. There's no way we would have attracted all those people unless we didn't have that grant money. There's just no way. So I think taking our media to the next step is a great way of trying to get people to come to at least visit our community so we can start spurring getting some of these empty buildings filled up. The Dollar General is a kick in the teeth. It's just really a sign of industrialization where they put all of these in here and now the city's left in a lurch on sales tax and the shopping center for people that can't travel far.
But to go along with that, I would have to say that Dollar General we're planning on closing 120 to 140 stores anyways, but they have converted some of their stores into mini grocery stores, DG Market. Okay, so there's still hope there. Nobody knows anything. Corporate doesn't want to tell you anything, so.
No, I get that. My point is just, we need to start being more proactive with our media and advertising to start really driving people here. I know we're really hell-bent on the grassroots advertising. We're really good at it. But it might be time to start really looking at things like, visit Bull Shoals commercials that we can market to places within 2 hours of here and start driving people back in here. Just a thought. Anyway, I would like to leave.
Yes, anybody else?
I was going to keep my mouth shut, but I'm not going to. I don't know how many people here are in the acronyms. I'm going to give you one right now. It's called fear. False evidence is appearing real. I use fear to control people. I use fear to take domination over people. Folks, they're trying to use fear to destroy this city. And it doesn't matter whether it be this, it's not just this. It's the ugly website with all the stuff going around town, all the rock throwing. Folks, we're not going to get healthy. We're not going to survive unless we quit playing these stupid games. And it's that simple to me. I came onto this council to make a difference, to make changes. And we are. But this destroys it just as fast as we can fix it.
It's election year.
I understand.
I'd like to encourage Leslie Snow to at least come talk to us.
Yeah.
A real person.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to know, because
Just FYI, I have searched every possible person, there is no Leslie Snow. Okay, I've gotten letters at home from all these fictitious people. There is no, this is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And I, for one, with Randall and everybody else that sits up here, I'm sick of it. There's people in this community that are killing themselves to make this a better place and to attract people here and to make people want to come back. And then we get this nonsense, and it's so easy to track back to who's doing it. And we need to just start calling them out and call them exactly what they are. They're liars. Period. It's not slander, it's not anything, it's just the truth. They're plain and simple liars. They can't get their facts straight. The nerve of them to criticize what the budget committee did when we presented a budget. We made copies of it for every single person in this community to pick up at these meetings. That's never been done. We put it up in front of everybody. Do we make mistakes? Sure, we made mistakes. It was a huge document, but we corrected the mistakes and we owned up to them. But it was something that everybody could look at. It was there. We put our names on it. We didn't put Leslie Snow on it or any other nonsense. And to have this continually going on, and then you see these people, where are they? Where are they at the budget meetings? Where are they at this meeting? Where are they at any meeting? Where are they at anything that helps this community? They're nowhere to be found. Absolutely nowhere to be found. But boy, they're sure the first ones to throw a rock or to criticize or to do whatever. And we need to remember this when it comes to election time, because I guarantee you, I'm already seeing it. They're going to start whitewashing their record when they were in power, and they're going to start reinventing everything and making it sound like butter wouldn't melt in their mouths. Well, I tell you what, people, I've got longer than a 2-year memory. I have wasted, and I mean that in the most sincere sense of the word, I have wasted a year of my life fixing every single mistake that they have made. And there are hundreds of them, there are thousands of them. Every time we turn one over, there's another one under another rock that they hid, something that they cut corners on. When the state can't even do an audit of your books because there's not even enough numbers to do the audit, you should be embarrassed of that. And yet they stand up and they make it sound like nothing is wrong, and it is ridiculous. Apparently they think we're all just too stupid to remember. But I'm not too stupid to remember. And I hope the rest of this community, I know the rest of this community isn't that stupid.
Stop supporting them. Very powerful. Stop putting that piece of paper in your box. The people that support them and sponsors them, you have to get a hold of them and say, you know what? I don't want anything. If you don't want my business, that's fine. But don't dwell on this. That's exactly what they want. And that's exactly what they get. If you get a hold of Pine Deck and say, no, this is enough. I'm tired of the lies. And get a hold of their sponsors and say, you want my business? Then stop. Don't destroy our town.
I have never in my life seen maybe 1 or 2 ball games played that the defense is doing. And there's just a handful of people in this town that keeps this city on the defense all the time. It's time we get on offense and we run the ball and we run over these people.
The other thing is, Gary doesn't have a business license yet either.
Well, who's
Or
fault is
paper.
that? Then the city needs to go after him.
You're right.
And we got these people over here that started all this problem with this fence thing. Now they're the victim.
Oh, yeah, really.
You know, I'm sick of
But
it.
that takes time.
Exactly, it is.
And they were planning on all this.
Yeah. The whole time. This is hard stuff.
This close, Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.